Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I want to talk about one of the spiciest ban lists in Vibranium timeline in a long time, and apparently in Platinum as well. I think Thanos is banned in Platinum, but pretty much everyone else is not, or everyone besides Thanos is banned. Thanos is the only one not banned this week. I think this is the longest ban list in total that I've ever seen. It encompasses 17 different characters, and actually at least 10 of them are meta for PvP. I mean, that whole top row can be meta for PvP. Jean kills everybody. Quicksilver and Deadpool kill Jean, and then Wolverine kills Deadpool and Quicksilver. On the second line, Ant-Man is pretty meta. Sharon and Sharon and Thor not as much, but they have their place. And then Captain America can be meta. Nick Fury sees some play, and then everybody else kind of not really. 2099 sometimes, to be honest with you, and Spider-Man tier 3 sometimes. But yeah, pretty much everyone here has seen play at one time or another. I think probably X-23 and Iron Man are the least used, and maybe Sharon. But even Hulk, I've done some stuff recently with Hulk. So it's a pretty good ban list, but it's really missing the one big dog, which is Thanos. Thanos is the big guy missing, and that's why you're going to see Thanos on pretty much every single team this week in PvP. Before we get into the PvP stuff, though, I just want to give you guys a quick tip for Battle World. If you don't know already, for any Battle World, leaderships do not apply, so we're not using any of the leaderships you see there, but 4-star passives and tier 2 passives do apply. So in this case, Wasp's tier 2 passive to give everyone debuff immunity, that does apply. If I were to put, Ulysses Claw on this team, everyone would get 30% crit damage. If I was going to put Storm on the team, everyone would get lightning immunity, or like 50% lightning immunity, and some lightning damage buffs. And so on and so forth. So any tier 2 or 4-star passives that apply to all allies will work in Battle World. Even stuff like Coulson's tier 2 passive, Mantis's crit damage buff, etc. Victorious's 30% HP works as well, although I don't think you can use Victorious in any of these for this week. If you can for another week, you can consider Victorious's 30% buff for HP. Pretty nice. So as far as timeline goes, as you'll see, especially if you are in Vibranium, and you want to get into Vibranium for the rewards. Now, the rewards definitely need to be reworked, and we made a video recently talking about game modes that need to change in Marvel Future Fight, and my second highest ranking for game modes that need to be changed after Conquest is Timeline Battle, and one of the things that I think needs to change the most is the rewards. Because for being in the top 1% of all players in the game, think about it. You're at the highest level, you're in Vibranium. Not Platinum, not Gold, not Silver, not Bronze, not Wood, not Condom. You're in the Vibranium League, and you only get 200 crystals, 220 crystals at the end of the week. 220 crystals a week. What does that work out to per day for putting in that work? I know it's only 10 fights per day, but you're talking about 31? I can round it up if I'm being super generous. I can round it up to 32 crystals a day. Barely more crystals than you get for your daily challenges. And that means that's equal to going, 10-0 pretty much every single day. You can't lose that many times. I don't even think you can lose once and be still in the top 1%. On top of not being able to lose, you can't play the first opponent you get. Like, you can't play this team because the win percentage, 31 points, is not enough. So you have to spend the gold, and I'm not counting the gold against the total cost, but I'm saying you have to put in extra time searching for a team that's going to give you the maximum number of points. Now, the maximum number of points is 79. If you're on a 10-win streak, it won't be 79 at the beginning of the beginning of the week. When it resets on Thursdays, it'll be 69, giggity. But then as you win, each win you get will build up to 79, and then you can get an additional 10 points, or actually you can get an additional 15 points if you use the recommended characters. However, it's almost impossible to use all 3 of the recommended characters. I would not recommend using more than one of the recommended characters because you're going to seriously cripple your team, and then if you lose, it's not worth it at all. Keep in mind, you can only get the recommended character bonus for 5 battles, so perhaps using the recommended characters at the beginning before you face harder opponents is the way to go, but I would recommend just doing 1. So if I wanted to carry, let's say, Cull Obsidian here, I could swap him in for Shuri. But moving back to what I was saying, why you want to be in Vibranium, because even if you only manage to be in the top 10% or the top 30%, you're still getting 180 or 200 crystals, which is always going to be better, as you can see, than any other ranking. So here, you're almost doubling the amount. If I'm in the top 10% for Vibranium, I'm getting 200 crystals. If I'm in the top 11% for platinum, I'm getting 100 crystals. That's half. So the best case scenario, which is being in the top 1%, is 220. It only gets worse from there. So if you're meddling around in gold, you're getting like less than 100 crystals. So you definitely want to work your way to Vibranium as soon as possible. So it's important to know the strategies. It's important to watch these videos and see the ban lists and see the different moves that you can make once you are in Vibranium. But this week in particular puts a heavy emphasis on either having tier 3 Thanos built for PvP specifically, because building tier 3 Thanos with a rage or an energy or some sort of, PvE build is not going to cut it. He needs to have guard break immunity minimum in order to be viable this week, because viable any week, but especially this week because you're going to be facing other Thanoses that are built for PvP. So either you build your Thanos for PvP, tier 3 him, which is a heavy cost, 1600 CCF, or you build Silver Surfer. Those are pretty much the two de facto killers this week. You can also use Captain Marvel, but I think she's a little bit more susceptible to being killed by Silver Surfer because of his third skill, iframe ignore. So you really have to pay close attention to that. And also, we know Captain Marvel is a bit squishy. Silver Surfer is kind of squishy too, but he has 2 lives. So he instantly becomes half as squishy as any other character that is squishy. Because he can come back to life anyways. But yeah, because you're going to see a ton of Thanos teams like this. The team just changed on me. What the hell was that? Okay, Carl, sus ass. Anyways, because you're going to be seeing a lot of teams like this, you want to try and employ different tactics if you are desperate. So if you don't have tier 3 Thanos, if you don't have tier 2 Silver Surfer, if you don't have tier 3 Captain Marvel, you're probably screwed. I'm going to be really honest with you. If you don't have one of those 3 characters, it's going to be very hard for you to make it out with 70 wins at the end of the week. You can get some wins, definitely, but it's going to be hard for you. You can try using someone like Doctor Strange, tier 3, built for PvP, and there's maybe a couple of other options. I think Apocalypse is also a great option. Strife might be a good option. Doctor Doom might be a good option, but it's going to be harder than Silver Surfer or Captain Marvel. But you want to stack the odds in your favor by abusing the character bonuses. And I've made this video before. I've made these particular strategies before. But doubling or tripling down on different characters that will buff your damage and reduce the incoming damage from villains. Because like we said, we know we're going to see a ton of Thanos. You're also going to see a ton of Apocalypse tier 3. Those are both villains. So bringing along Shuri, especially with her uniform, helps you tremendously. Panther God's protection applies, decreasing their incoming damage by 35% and giving you a 45% increase. That's going to stack with Colossus, which gives you another flat 50. Where is his passive? Which gives you another flat 50% decrease incoming damage. So you've got 85% decrease incoming damage on top of 45% increased outgoing damage. So this is a really potent team up to take care of villains. The problem with using Captain Marvel instead is that now you've given up the debuff. You have the increased energy attack, which is nice, but you've given up the debuff. So more likely than not, you're going to have to swap in Wasp, who thankfully is not banned this week, and you're going to have to give up the buff that you're getting from Shuri. But this is still a good combo. You get all attack, all defense, all speed, and then you get the debuff, and you get the 10% HP. Another alternative, if you're seeing a lot of Captain Marvels and a lot of Silver Surfers, and you have your own Captain Marvel or your own Silver Surfer, I prefer Silver Surfer myself, is to double down with the Hela Colossus combo. This is just as toxic as the other one, but basically Hela, you need the Ragnarok uniform. She will provide you, all allies, with 15% increased damage and 15% decreased damage from superheroes. The only character in the game that's going to provide this kind of buff to all allies. Not a self buff, it's an ally buff. So that is going to mean that you have 65% decreased damage from superheroes, and then 15% increased damage. That's going to put you at a huge advantage fighting the mirror match, Silver Surfer versus Silver Surfer, and again, puts you at a huge advantage when you are fighting teams with multiple villains. So I'm actually going to try to put this into action now. I don't know if I can beat Carl's team, but I'm definitely going to try it here, just so you guys can see. I'm also going to play manually. I recommend for Timeline to play manually if you want to get the maximum number of crystals. I'm a big proponent of playing manually versus autoplay. I usually do autoplay, and you'll catch it on streams when Jean Grey is not banned, because it's just mindless. Jean Grey is just too strong, and she kills everyone without, any sort of effort involved. But there we go. We get the kill. Oh my God, what the hell was that? Okay, we got a little bit unlucky there. The timing was just a little bit off, embarrassingly enough. And we are in a little bit of trouble right now. So the only disadvantage to this team, the only disadvantage to this strategy is that you're putting all of your chips in one basket. And what I mean by that is that if your Silver Surfer goes down, well, you can guess what's going to happen. You're going to die. So that's what happened, and that's what just happened to me now. So I ended up losing. Good on Carl for killing me. Yeah, this is the disadvantage. The advantage is that the advantage is that you can get a win off if you are oh, really? No way! Colossus! Wow! True. Should we make the title of this video clickbait? Colossus kills Apocalypse? Imagine, holy crap. Okay, another reason to get Colossus's Phoenix 5 uniform and build him up if you don't have him built up. I don't have that special of a build on him, but I'm shocked. But again, the value of bringing someone like Shuri along, Shuri is giving Colossus this buff. So Colossus is rocking 85% decreased damage from supervillains, so Apocalypse is doing way less damage to him, and he's got a 45% increased damage to villains when Apocalypse is a villain. Doesn't matter that Colossus is a villain, but you can see my build. I'm in the top 1500, but that was unexpected as hell. We got one Odin's Blessing, some 4-star and some 5-star Uru. Not all of the gears are maxed out. We've got recovery rate here. We've got a CTP of regen. We've got a stage 7 Power of Angry Hulk. The 4th gear, oh yeah, the 4th gear is recovery rate. And then we've got the Mythic with most of the options, Mythic or Legendary or Heroic. Double HP is absolutely vital. But damn, the video wasn't even supposed to be about you. And you're just rocking that shit, eh, Colossus? Damn, bro. That was sick. I'm so shocked. Well, take that L, Carl. Add one more L to your name. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, so yeah, those are strategies that you can employ to, help yourself building up to Vibranium, but then also staying in Vibranium to get more crystals. And then hopefully this advice will be even more helpful when Marvel Future Fight reworks Timeline Battle and makes the rewards better. I honestly think it's pathetic that you're giving 30 crystals a day, or the incentive is 30 crystals a day to the top 1% of all players in the game for PvP. I think this should be at least like triple. I mean, offering players 100 crystals per day if they can maintain the top 1%, I think that makes more sense. It's a lot of crystals to give per week. Yeah, 600 crystals a week. Yeah, true. But uniforms are going up in price. We still got the deluxe packs. We're gonna get another epic quest once upon a time, you know, in the future. So I think it makes sense, and I think it makes PvP more competitive, and therefore making it a more valuable, thing to do, rather than just doing it as an afterthought and then not caring about whether you win or lose, and then it just being like a crapshoot. I hate that feeling, and it just makes the building aspect of this game, the customizable aspect of this game, feel hollow when you don't go for PvE, when you don't go for maximum offense, when you don't go for maximum kill potential for world boss, when you build for PvP, when you build for AC, when you build for timeline, you're not even rewarded properly. No PvP game mode rewards us properly, and they really should, given the investment being made with Urus and ISO 8 sets and obelisks and CTPs, etc. Last thing I want to leave you guys with, I can't really make a full video about this, but it's pretty cool. The Warriors of the Sky. I'm still contemplating their PvP potential. I think it is still sort of unfinished or unrefined, so I don't think they're going to be PvP monsters, despite the fact that all 3 of them here will revive. But I do want to show you guys something cool, and I think I'll be able to pull it off. Hopefully I will, although Thanos is a bit of a pain in the butt. Let me try against Jay Reno. Essentially, the Warriors of the Sky have iframe ignore on their awakened skill. Now, this is not too overpowered just as a standalone skill, until you consider the fact that when they revive, the cooldown on all their skills is instantly reset. So right now it's at 30 seconds, so this is bad. I gotta stall for 30 seconds if I don't kill him. But on the plus side, I will be able to use my skill right after I die, like as a wake up. So check this out. We're gonna wake up and use our this awakened ability. And now, even if you don't see it displaying iframe ignore, just imagine that it can iframe ignore, because it can, and I've tested it. And then imagine how good that could be when you consider the fact that all of them can revive. If you combo those two ideas together, you can end up with a pretty nice situation. So we're gonna have to try to wait to see if Thanos can iframe here, because that's the only way for us to show off The ultimates, yeah, we can't. Yeah, we just lost our chance there with what's her name. So I don't think they're PvP gods. I don't think they're very good for PvP. But I think they could be very good for PvP, especially if they get their tier 3s, if they get uniforms. Having the ability to use a skill right after you die and come back to life that can one-shot your enemy, presuming it can one-shot the enemy, but being able to use that skill minimum 3 times per battle, because even if you die, you're guaranteed. Like Blue Dragon, when she dies and comes back, she can use it. Shadow Shell dies and comes back, so she can use it. Sunbird dies and comes back, he can use it. So you can use it a minimum of 3 times. If you're getting a kill every single time, you could wipe out a team like that without even having to care about the first life, because you know on that second life you're going to get that kill unless they have iframe ignore. So not something to panic about, not something to go and blow all your resources trying to unlock and level up. As you can see, I haven't gone crazy. I haven't been spending cash, throwing money, trying to push these skills any higher. I'm hoarding my awakening crystals, but just something to keep in mind, not only for these characters, but for the future. Because if all characters that are getting an awakened skill are going to have awakened skills that have iframe ignore, that could become a pretty big, you know, punching power for PvP and for other game modes that, you know, have that sort of tactic in mind. So let me know what you guys think of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.